Hey guys, welcome back to McNasty So, we sold the plastic, the factory plastic on this yz250 here, and I figured, might as well start the video now. I wasn't really ready for this project. We weren't really ready to start these projects, or project, two-in-one project. But what are we gonna do? So I might as well jump into it. So as you see right here, we have a, I don't know if you want to call this thing a survivor, but this is the original plastic. I have one of the radiator fins for it. I don't have the other, the seat condition, the foam, the cover is horrible. But this thing runs like a top. It runs really good and it rides really good. I bought it, I rode it around, and I threw it in a corner. And to the left of me, we have a 2014 yz250f TRIKE conversion, which I bought like this and wasn't happy with anything on it. I rode it a couple of times. The thing's kind of not thrown together just right, so we're gonna rip it down and we're gonna go through this. So in the process of going through this one and trying to get this one up and going, I thought about that I had the two of them together, and I thought, what's the best thing I can do? I'll do a quick build, throw together videos. I'll rip both of these things down to the frames, and I'm going to restore this 86 yz250. While I'm restoring this, I'm going to make this yz250 look just like an 86 Tri-Z. So we're going to go through it. I already started on the subframe because the way they have subframe mounts to get the YZF450 subframe on it, absolutely horrible. It's stuck out into your legs on the sides of the frame here, and you couldn't even really ride this bike. There's no way you could have rode it hard and fast. You could putt around on it and fool around, but your legs just kept rubbing against these steel brackets, which I'll show you. So I took those off and I started making a steel subframe, because obviously at McNasty we make Raptor 700 subframes and we sell them to the public. Well, I used to make YZF 450 subframes and I just stopped. So I had 3 frames sitting around in the back. So I started cutting them up and modifying them to get them onto this frame, and I had to weld some aluminum chunks onto this frame as well to make the frame bolt on. Nothing is finished, it's just all mock-up and sitting here. So before I got too far into this one, I said to myself, I'm going to make this thing look like an 86. I might as well restore the other 86. I got so many restores going on in the background here. I got an 88 KX500 there. I got, well, you know, 87 YZ250 over there. But I've been selling off a bunch of these bikes. I got an 84 KX250 on the stand. I got an 81 KX420. I got a 09 KFX450 I was going to make into a 92 lookalike RESTRO bike. Among having all these other bikes, that's a street legal KX500 right there. I was going to make into a Takati 3-wheeler. I've got a bunch of projects. Really don't need to be taking this project on when I have all these other projects, but like I said, I sold the plastic to this bike, the front and rear fenders. I'm going to give them the radiator cover anyway, and what are you going to do about it? So I already bought fenders and decals. I already bought a seat cover, fork boots. I got front and rear fender. I got both radiator covers. And that's pretty much what I have for this one. And among this one, I started doing the same thing. I got Tri-Z decal kits for the fenders that match the 86. I got a red seat cover. I started the subframe. I started an aluminum airbox, so I got to do some modifications. This had a garbage wheelie bar on it, and as this one has a garbage wheelie bar on it too, so we're going to have to make some wheelie bars. So we're going to have to make some custom fabricated parts along the way here. But I want this Tri-Z to try to look as factory as possible, and I'm going to get the YZ to look as modern but 1986 as possible. Okay guys, so this is the way I bought this. It's a 2014 YZ250f. It's a pretty decent build all around. Obviously it has some kind of triples on it. It had a YZ450f, for a newer, rear plastic, seat, subframe, swing arm, and everything else in the back there. So like I said, the subframe is like every other YZ subframe. It was YZF subframe. The wheelie bar tabs were basically broke. They had a shit homemade wheelie bar on there. Same as this Tri-Z. The Tri-Z has some crappy bent homemade wheelie bar. So I ripped that off, and like I said, the frame had these brackets on the side, because they're right over here. There's these big beefy steel brackets. So these are the brackets they had on the sides of the frame. So this bolt and this bolt here would go through the subframe. This top mount here and this bottom one would go on the frame itself. So this top bolt went in there to that little bolt, and the bottom one went down here with a spacer. And when this sat on the frame with spacers, so you see it's flush up here, Look how much, where my thumb is, this thing stuck out the side of the frame. 2.5 inches. So your legs would be sliding right here on the frame. Your legs are coming down here like this and back. And when you go to stand up, they pull up straight against this bracket right here. So I don't know what company offered these, what company made them. I have no idea, but they are absolutely horrible. So when your leg goes to slide back, it just catches it, and it pulls your leg out. It's horrible. So this thing came with those brackets on there and a YZF frame, which is garbage. I pulled all of that off, threw it out. It came with these pegs on here. I don't know what company made these. Again, like I said, I'm not 100% sure who makes the triple, but the triple's pretty nice. It looks like it must have the stock YZ front forks on there. And that's pretty much it. The seat, the YZF 450 seat actually lines up very well. You can see that none of the plastic lines up. They trimmed the plastic here. Because they had some kind of crazy wheelie bar, they had to trim the plastic off in the back here. They actually trimmed the lower parts of this as well so you can kick it over. There's an area here that drops way down and comes across. They trim those off, and I don't know what I'm going to do with those. But this is the three-wheeler, so it is in rough shape. Even though it looks good and it rides good, it runs great, it's a monster to start. It's a beast. The thing needs a complete going through. I mean, it's horrible. So like I said, I started making one of my subframes on here, my 6-point subframes, and I got aluminum chunks welded onto the back of the frame here so we could bolt it on, and then these were my subframe supports, which you won't really see too well. We'll get into it as we start to build. And I remounted the exhaust, and all in all, that's the bike right there. So we got obviously a lot of work to get that thing to where we want it to be. And this is the Tri-Z. All original everything, obviously except for the tires. The original pipe. I don't believe the motor's ever been ripped into. Obviously has the coolant bottle still. But yeah, it's obviously in tough shape, man. I mean, yeah, you can brag about, oh, it's all original. Yeah, well, it's all original, but it's in tough shape, man. I mean, it's pretty good shape all in all. It's just, you know, it's just beat, man. It's a beater. Old school spider tracks on there. I mean, it's still on the original rims. It's got the original silencer still on this thing. It's only missing the end cap. I mean, everything is still here on this bike, which would be cool. You know, the shock's in good shape. The suspension, the front forks don't leak. The motor, like I said, runs perfect. This thing rode around and rode great. So like I said earlier, I got front, rear fenders, decals. Actually, I'll walk over here and show you. That's that street legal KX500 we're going to make into a three-wheeler, but here's some of the parts. So here's the Tri-Z fenders we got laying around for the rear. Here's the front one. Here's the seat cover and so on. Here's some of the stickers. Here's the fork boots. See the fork boots in there, some of the stickers and so on. This 86, so this is an 86 Ducati, that's an 86 Tri-Z, this is an 86 250R, and this is an 86 350X. I went through this not too long ago. I mean, she's in beautiful shape. This needs to be gone through. I want to rip it down, so on. This is a Survivor, all original plastic, 350X. It's got the mud guard on the back, all of that. This is, you know, the original 86 rims, and so on. So there's the rear fenders for the YZ Tri-Z dirt bike. You know, some green Ducati 4 fenders for the Ducati over there. So we have a lot of projects going on, so on and so on, but obviously this is all about the Tri-Z and the YZ. We don't really have time to be building this thing. We've got too many other projects going on in this thing, in this shop. Obviously an Eleanor project. And then, you know, between getting everything running, McNastyCustomz every day, KRX I gotta bring to the dyno, my Elliott truck I'm building. I mean, I got a lot going on. So, we just figured we'd make a quick little video, do a quick little walk around of these things, which this seat, I got the seat cover for it, but man, it is almost impossible so far to find a foam for this thing. So I'm thinking maybe getting a Blaster seat or a Warrior seat and cutting that section of the seat out and replacing it with the Warrior or the Blaster foam, just so it's not, I suppose I could send it out and I don't know. So I'm going to put a headlight on the front of this bike. I'm going to do a modern age headlight of this version here, and I'm going to make it all out of aluminum. And I'm going to make the aluminum airbox, finish the subframe, and then we'll rip these things down. We'll powder coat this frame red. This area here I'm going to have wrapped, because this blue piece of the radiator scoops, they do not sell in red for some reason. You'd think on a YZ they'd sell special editions or something in red. Well, for the 13 and 14 they do not. So I obviously could change all the rest of the plastic to white and whatever else, but those there I believe I'm going to send out and have wrapped. Maybe I'll buy some wrap and try doing it myself. Yep, I'm gonna probably order all new matching tires for both machines. It'll have to have gold rims and so on, like, so both of them have gold rims. I don't really want to put exhaust or anything on this bike, on this newer YZ. I don't really need to. I mean, obviously the thing scoots as it is. The only thing I gotta say about this YZ that's kind of off is the gearing, because it has a tiny little sprocket in the back from like the YZF 450 quad, which is just stock gearing for that. And it's like not made for a dirt bike. So, I mean, you got really, really tall gears when you try riding this thing. Just really, I mean, this thing's probably got a very high top speed, but it's just really tall gearing. And, you know, the motor's not really made for that. It's supposed to have like a 57 tooth wrist sprocket or something. It's got like a 49 on it. So, I don't know. We'll have to play with that as well. But, all right, guys, this is video 1. We just got the video 1, the introduction, so I can actually get these fenders off and shipped out. I'm going to set this thing up. We'll start setting up on a tripod, and we'll time lapse, and we'll do ripping down of these bikes and so on. And obviously, I'm sure there's got to be some kind of frame repair here, because they all do. So I'll have to weld up the frames and whatever else on the, well, here's the 88 KX. Well, it's actually a 531. I just finished building this aluminum tank. I just built the aluminum airbox. And I wanted to actually go pretty extreme with this bike and fool around with it and send some parts out and have them chromed and so on. But we'll take it from there. I really shouldn't be even taking on these projects right now, man, but now I gotta add a whole new video collection to this whole ordeal that I got going on in here with all this nonsense. But remember one thing, ladies. Ooh. McNasty rules. Pay attention. No, man, I'm not saying pay attention. Keep posted. Keep watching. Whatever it is, man. You want to see some more videos, updates on this thing? Check us out. Like and subscribe, share, do whatever the hell you want to do. I don't care, man. But if you want to see more on this three-wheeler build, stay tuned. McNastyCustomz. And if you need any of our parts that we sell for our razors, our KRXs and so on, McNastyCustomz.com, guys. McNastyCustomz.com. Check us out on Instagram. We've got tons of pictures of old restored bikes and so on. And everything's at McNastyCustomz.com and McNastyCustomz Instagram and Facebook. Thanks, guys.